comes a point in every role-playing game where you just gotta strap on your sword, wander out into a field, and kill a couple thousand rats or blobs. I'm talking about the old level up grind. And in theater, there can come a point where rehearsals start to feel like a grind, just running scenes to build up experience through repetition. But I'm Derek. I am often drawn poorly, and I'm here to say that it doesn't have to be like that. We're talking rehearsal techniques, and it starts now. Welcome to Derek Sings Poorly, the channel for theater kids of all ages and the people who tolerate them. Hey, here's a thought. Let's rehearse hitting those like and subscribe buttons. Go ahead and give them a click. See how that feels. Nicely done. Rehearsing a play generally comes in stages. You start with the read-throughs and a focus on the lines, and then you move on to blocking where you figure out the physicality. Often you'll hone in on a particular scene or set of scenes each night, while the rest of the cast continues to run lines until you reach that most dreaded of days, the off-book deadline. Then you'll have about a week or two where it seems like you've never actually rehearsed the play a single time at all, because you were so used to having the book and now you've forgotten everything, and suddenly then it's tech rehearsals and Hell Week, and somehow it's a system that works. So you can utilize these 4 techniques at almost any stage of your rehearsal process, just to switch things up a bit and help you focus on a specific outcome. The first technique is called the 0 to 60. It involves doing the scene twice. The first time is just as dry and flat as possible. Your focus is solely on the mechanics of reading the script and standing in the right place if you've made it to blocking. The second run through, though, is pitched at as high a level as possible. You're turning your switch from Stephen Wright to Mandy Patinkin and going for it. But why? Well, firstly, because it's fun, and it lets your cast really play with their parts. That sounds way dirtier than it was supposed to. More importantly, it helps to create some emotional hooks. See, placing ourselves into a certain emotional state can make it easier to recall information when we find ourselves back in that same state. So exaggerating the emotions of a scene starts to color the dialogue for our memory. The power pose technique is also geared towards creating some anchors for memorizing dialogue and timing. In this type of rehearsal, you're going to recite your dialogue strictly from your blocking marks. Not only by your position on stage, but also you're going to mark exact gestures or actions to take at specific moments of the script. And you're going to hold these poses or positions until the next one comes. Basically, you look like my drawing segments. You're holding a pose for a few sentences before switching to the next. Again, this is a memory aid. By removing all the extemporaneous movements and going mark to mark, you are purposefully tying your dialogue to the action on stage and creating checkpoints in your mind. The third technique is fun. It's a scene swap. In essence, you pull a Freaky Friday and swap places with your scene partners. You read for them and they read for you. The longer the interaction, the more useful the switch can be. Why? Because it gets you out of your own space and focusing on what's happening on the other side of the conversation. Sometimes when we're focused on memorizing our lines, this thing happens where instead of learning the scene, we learn the order of the words. We can recite them one by one without any regard to what the other characters say in between. Switching sides keeps us in the moment, lets us play with character dynamics, reminds us of where the scene is going when someone inevitably drops a line or strikes out on an improv. The last technique is less about memory and more about motivation and momentum. It's called the back in time, no DeLorean required. Concept is pretty simple. We generally rehearse scenes in order, starting at the top of the show or act and running forward until we're out of time. We'll pull out individual scenes and moments for attention, but with the full group, we usually move forward through the show. And there's even a superstition that it's bad luck to say the final line of a show before opening night. But this technique punches that particular black cat right in its cute fluffy nose. Because instead, you'll go through the last scene, and then the second to last, and the third to last, and so and so and so forth. The advantage to this is that it ensures you have full energy and attention for working on these scenes. And also, it focuses your attention on the journey of the characters by working backwards from where they end up. So those are just a few ways to do something different with your play rehearsals. Thanks for watching. Let me know in the comments if any of those rehearsal tricks gave you an idea for spicing up your own read-throughs. And be sure to share this with the drama coach in your life, because next time we're going to learn some theater warm-up games. Peace, and all good.